Podcast 92. Chris is better, and now I'm sick. I'm gonna kill you twice. I'm gonna kill
About
you dead
time.
twice. And then
About
once I
time.
kill you with a car, I'm gonna back up in reverse and peel wheel.
It's
It's all
about
your fault.
time.
It's all your fault.
I'm so glad you got something.
Thanks a lot.
Paybacks.
Thanks a
Paybacks.
lot. So I know we start the last 5 episodes with Chris being sick, but let's just put this to rest that you finally got, I think, the correct medicine, and now
Maybe.
you're actually getting better.
Maybe.
You
Yep.
sound better.
I do. I sound a lot better. And
Yes.
I do, in all seriousness, I do want to thank everybody that's been sending me messages and comments and things saying that they were actually praying for me to get better
Hmm.
and well wishes and hoping that I would got better. I mean,
Yep.
that was pretty nice of folks to reach out and do that. I had a lot of
Well,
people reach out.
we're recording on Saturday.
Hmm.
Um, Wednesday, I woke up and my nose was like a faucet. I mean, I couldn't even, as soon as I was standing up straight, it was just a faucet.
Mm.
So I thought it was like allergies. So
Yeah, that's
I ended up buying some Benadryl, and it kind of dried it up a little bit. And then Thursday, I woke up, my throat was sore. I literally like lost my voice. Friday, it was a little bit better. Today, I woke up. I got good sleep last night, and I slept like 8.5 hours, which is not my normal. And still woke up 3:30 because I had to go to my farm today and plant my food plots. So my voice is coming back. Hopefully, it holds up enough for this podcast. But just give an update, and I want to point something out real quick. Is that it is September 28th right now, and I literally just planted my food plots. I've been
weak.
I've been plotless this entire time.
He's
Chris is
plotless.
plotless, and I've had millions of people asking me, Dave, you get your food plots in, you get your food plots in, you get your food plots in, and I kept saying no. I didn't because like in my part, not where I live, but where the farm is, there was zero rain. Like when I was planting a plant the end of August, I mean there was nothing, and it was dry as a bone.
You shammed everybody.
No, and by the time I could, 4 hours away, there was a little bit of rain mid September, but I just couldn't get there. I mean, it was dry. So
Misleading.
finally, no, shut up. So finally, I go today, and I just want to point this out is that I did not plant domain seed. I planted winter wheat. And everybody, not everybody, but there's people that say, oh, you and Chris or whatever only push domain seed and this and that and the other. No,
Right.
we don't. We plant what's appropriate for the situation. And in
I
my
put winter wheat
situation,
out. Yeah.
yeah, my situation, me trying to plant domain brassicas or something, it's too late.
It's
Like
too
I,
late. Yeah.
it's too late. So I had to go an alternative route, and I
Right.
planted wheat. And I did have a bag of rye, and I mixed rye in there,
Yeah.
winter rye as well. So I hit it heavy with the grains, and the next 15-day forecast, the temperatures are still in the 70s over that way, Western PA, and the nights are in the 50s. That's still plenty of time for the wheat and rye to germinate. Um, and there's lots of moisture coming.
Oh yeah.
It's raining today,
It'll be
Sunday,
fine
Monday,
as long as
Tuesday.
we get that rain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's coming.
I
So
just had a couple people texting me too, and one of the guys is north of me, and he same thing. He said, "Should I plow it and replant something?" I said, "Well, is it still bare dirt?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, just go out and get winter wheat or rye, whatever your choice is." I said, "I would suggest winter wheat though." So I said, "Get winter wheat and oats." I said, "But if you put in oats, it's gonna." He's further north than me. I said, "So you only got a 2-3 week window." Well, it's already up like 3 inches. He did it last week. It's up like 3 inches already, and he's slewed with turkeys, and they're
mhm,
digging it all up. So now he's upset because they're actually using it and eating it. I was like, "You're planting it for them to eat." Well, I mean, what do you? So if you don't like the turkeys, chase them off.
right.
I
You talking
said,
about? Is this Travis
"Yeah, Travis been blowing you up too."
today? Yeah, he was at,
Yeah.
he was
Well,
telling me.
he blew me up. He was blowing me up, but he tried texting me this morning. I was like, "Dude, I'm at a wedding. Please." So yeah, he was done.
Yeah,
He left he
he
left
was
me
messaging
alone
me
today.
this morning asking
Mhm.
because he's been checking in every week. Dave, you get your
Yeah,
plots planted. You get your plots planted. No, not yet.
yeah.
Um,
He blew my stuff up lately, which is fine, I don't care. But
but
then,
he was
I got other guys, saying, "Hey, yeah, we had a drought all this time. Now I got too much water. What do I do?" I was like, "What can you do?
nothing.
You can't do nothing about it.
Go put a
What do you want?"
tarp on it.
Yeah, what do you want me to tell you? You can't do nothing about it.
Right.
I said,
It
just
is what it is.
you're gonna get rain now, and then you're gonna get days that aren't rainy. I
I
mean,
mean,
just
look at
wait it
me.
out.
This is the first year that I haven't had my plots in the end of August. I mean, we're in
You
the end
don't
of
listen to me anyhow. You're done. You're
yeah,
plotting
whatever.
silly.
You watch. Come November, I'm out of a green carpet, and that's going to take me all the way through December and January and February. Like that, January, February, and then March, April, it's going to green up again. I'm gonna have turkeys and blah 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 blah.
You'll have a head cold for 7 weeks and can't go.
No, that's you because you're old and weak. Today's podcast,
Bacterial.
yeah, bacterial. Today, let's be serious. Today's podcast is what's today's podcast?
September law.
No, October Law. So it's October Law time, and you're going to be seeing it all over the internet. So we figure we catch it early and post it the end of September, so that way people can be ready for it.
They can be ready for
All the drama,
all the drama. Yeah.
yeah, all the drama that you cause. Um, Chris, is the October Law real?
Of course it is.
Really?
Yeah, because everybody gets in the woods and spooks them off.
Right. So that technically there would be a September Law too, then.
Yeah, because they're all out scotting and hanging stands right now, so they're
Right.
already pre bumping their deer.
So let's explain it. What happens? What
It's
what
a lot of
what
There's
what
a
are the
lot of pressure
multiple?
involved with it.
Well, that's not the only thing, but
When a deer's in the woods 12 months out of the year, and you're only in there 2 months out of the year, and you're in their territory now, they know you're there.
mhm,
You're bumping them around, you're pushing them out of your area, you're putting extra stink and smells in the woods. They know what's happening. You know, uh, Not only that, but this time of year they're out scavenging. They're picking up the oaks, the acorns from the oaks and everything. They're spread out a lot.
mhm,
You know, um, they're gearing up, getting ready for pre-rut. They're eating a lot and reserving energy. They're out laying around and things. I mean, it happens every year, and people should be
mhm.
used to it by now. And I don't know why, but every year Facebook explodes with this crap saying there's October law. Where did the deer go? You know, I don't even think that's a good answer or a good question anymore. I don't understand why people can't get it. It happens every year.
Every year. And I've been hearing about the October Law ever since I got into bow hunting 25 years ago. You
Yeah,
know, I
it's been
always
around.
yeah, and I always tell this story, but years ago, 25 years ago, I hunted with a few outfitters, and that was always the talk of the camp was the outfitter, the owners and stuff would always say, "Oh, guys, it's yeah, because the people there weren't seeing nothing, the clients weren't seeing anything." So then the owner would come in and he'd say, "Oh, guys, we're sorry. It's the October law. Can't help it, right?" But that back then, I believed it. Like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "Man," I was like, "That's so odd that the deer like
They
know when it's
yeah,
October
yeah, they
and
look
they
at the
just
calendar and disappear
yeah,
for a couple. They
and
go
they
on
just
vacation.
right, and they just disappear. And
Yeah,
back then there was articles and all these like different moon guides that correlated with the October law and
yeah.
articles and
Moon
magazines
guide.
and all this stuff. Well, then as I got older, I realized that it's literally a scam. It's not a I don't know if scam's the right word, but it's a thing where
They
just like
just
anything else where a business can make money by selling articles and different things to push the October Law agenda on people to sell things. And maybe it could. I mean, technically, there is a law in a way. It's a lack of sightings, but
There is a lack of sightings, but
it's created
sometimes it's
by
man-made.
yeah, it's created by man, but it's also, like you said, it's a shift of food
It is definitely a
because
shift.
you have the acorns dropping, you have crops and things being harvested.
Yeah,
Um,
they're scavenging.
and yeah, exactly. And this, especially now with the drought, like you said, this, I think you were saying last night, now all of a sudden your property has been kind of dormant, nothing there. Now all of a sudden things are dried up, like whatever crops you have around you, they're probably dried up, beans, everything. And now all of a sudden the bucks are back onto your property
Back on the plots.
because that's the only, the lush food in the area. The browse is dry. It's been so dry,
Yeah.
um, and the acorns are dropping, and
Yep.
now you're seeing all these bucks. So there's a shift, and you know, this time of year the bucks are always shifting anyway. We had a
Yep.
that podcast we did. I think it was early September about the bucks
Yeah,
shifting.
it's doing okay.
That's the number one. Excuse me. That's the number one podcast on Apple and Spotify right now.
Good.
Is that podcast? So,
Good.
um,
It did well for me even in video form, in
yeah,
audio,
right.
the video and audio form here on YouTube. It did well. It was like almost 300 views or something,
hmm
you know.
Yeah, I think we're up
So,
to like I think like 1,800. I think on
mhm,
Apple, but or where downloads, I guess they call it. But
yeah.
um, yeah, so it's a huge shift right now. And the other thing too is like you said too, like Pennsylvania, the season starts next Saturday, and you're
Yeah.
in our area there. I
Yeah.
know I saw something what like deer season started today in some areas.
Some areas, yeah. And some
So
last weekend even too, I guess.
right, so the people that's been getting pictures on their cameras or sightings, deer season started today. Now those sightings are going to start diminishing because you just push the deer out further away, or they maybe disappear for a little bit and then they're back to nocturnal on your property.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things happening right now.
Well, in I just saw a question before I got on here tonight, and a guy was asking, what do I do? How do I get out of my blind at night when the field's still full of deer? And that causes a lot of problems. If you're climbing out of a stand or getting out of a blind as the deer are still in the field, and you bump them a few times, that's only going to happen a few times, literally, if not just one time.
hmm
If you're lucky, they'll come back.
Well,
But
think of last year at your property across the street.
yeah, how many times?
All them deer bucks that you had in your plot, you were texting me 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and you're still in the stand because you
Still in the
didn't bust them
stand,
out.
pitch
But
black.
flip it the other way. If you had bucks in that food plot and you got out just at dark and you busted them out, all of a sudden, guess what? Your property is you're going to have an October law effect
Yeah,
because the deer disappeared, and you're going to be posting on not you, but I'm just saying you're going to be posting on Facebook saying, "What happened? I had all these deer on my property, and
yeah,
now all of a sudden they're gone." And oh my God, it's the October law.
yeah. Right, right.
No, dummy, not dummy, but just making a joke. But no, dummy, it's because you spooked all the deer off your plot
Yeah,
in an area that they're feeding in, so they technically should feel safe. Now you spook them off of that,
you're
and
right.
they're gone. That's what happened. It's
Yeah,
not
I
that
mean, I don't know how many times I was texting you, but it was a lot, and I was like you said, I'd be stuck in a tree till 9, and it gets dark at 25 after 7.
right at
It's
that time.
past
Yeah,
hunting hours even,
right.
I mean, uh, legally wise, I shouldn't have been in the woods still. I mean, technically, but I'm not going to take a chance on busting any of my bucks and pushing them off the property by getting down
hmm
and walking away.
Right.
Because I mean, entrance and exit is a big thing, but when you have a evening spot like that, it's hard to get out of.
Well,
But
your area there. I mean, there's
the
really
good
not
thing
much
for
you can
me
do.
is they graze through there, they hit the fields until it gets dark, and then they get like uncomfortable, like they're on a path to somewhere else, and they normally clear out. after it gets dark. Like they just like pass through, get a bite to eat, and they go somewhere else,
Mhm.
probably up to the orchard to eat the apples. But yeah, I mean, if I wait long enough, they they all disperse and I can get out of there.
Yeah, I
Every
mean,
once
look,
in a while, I'll get a snort, but usually it's some fawn or something. It's something I'm not interested in shooting, so I don't worry about it. You know, um,
look what we had to do at the old farm sometimes in that one lucky stand,
right,
we had to wait it out or we blow a coyote call or something just to bust them out of there, but,
right,
some stands are like that, if you're they're tricky if you're hunting over food plots
hmm,
because that's the area that the deer wanna be in the afternoons, in the evenings,
yeah,
and it's hard to not spook them unless you wait it out and they drift off,
hmm,
that's why sometimes it might be better to hunt, like little kill plots, smaller areas to where they can transition out to a bigger field,
yeah, yeah. They just pass
but
through, pick around a little bit, and leave.
yeah, but if you're
You
on
know,
a destination situation, I mean, those deer are going to be there for hours, and you have a choice to make. Either you have a corner that you can sneak out and walk the opposite way from where they're at, or you just wait them out.
yeah. Yeah, and I was just thinking about that. I mean, like where I hunt out on the mountainside like that, they're just passing through, man. They're coming to a scrape, checking scrapes or whatever, and they move on,
Hmm.
And so that's the kind of terrain that I hunt, and it's a lot easier to get out of there. I mean, I can't even remember the last time a deer snorted at me on the mountain. I mean, they literally you see them and they're gone. You know, it's either something you want to shoot or not shoot. So you have
Right.
that split moment to make a decision. Here comes a buck. Okay, do I want this buck? Is this something I would shoot? And if so, you make the shot. If not, you let it go by. When it gets dark, you leave. Not a
Hmm.
big deal.
Right.
And if I was over there 1,000 times, 999 times I made it out and never spooked anything. It's just the way it is. You know, they're headed for security or down to the river to get a drink. You know, they're not headed the direction I am back to the car. You know what I mean? They're crossing my trail maybe, but they're long
Ne-
gone by the time I get out.
Next time you hunt your food plot, I'm gonna ride through there on a four wheeler and bust them out.
That'd be okay. That way I can get down and get out.
Yeah, just give me
And that and
about.
that's and that is a viable thing to do.
Hmm.
If people are stuck somewhere in a blind or in a tree stand and can't get down, they could call somebody and say, "Hey, come over here on a four wheeler and bust them out," and then jump on the four wheeler and leave with the guy
Hmm.
or whoever. I thought about doing that with Logan. I thought about calling him up and saying, "Hey, come over here and bust these out so I can get out of the tree. Like I got to get to bed and go to work."
Good.
I thought about doing that um, quite a few times, but yeah, I don't know.
Get them
It
to get them to drive a car up the lane and then drive down into the field. That'd probably be better.
he could do that with the Jeep. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, but yeah, I mean that would work. And some people do that. And like you
Yeah.
said, we tried the coyote calls on the phone a couple of times, and there's a few times it worked. There's a few times it didn't. They just looked at us and put their head back down and ate. Like, yeah, we heard that before.
Right,
You know.
exactly. Sometimes it
So
worked. I mean, it was
yeah,
I think it was I'd say I give it 50-50 that it worked.
yeah, yeah,
But I mean, it's an idea to try. I mean, it's just you have to do something to where they don't see you.
yeah. It's
Like,
not about the person or the
yeah.
location of the stand. You have to make it so that it's not related to that,
I
basically.
remember, I still do it sometimes, but like if I'm just hunting a regular stand, maybe just hunting the deer trail, sometimes, I'll take my like if there's deer out in front of me or something, I'll take my jacket off and drop it to the stand, or I'll take like a screw in step and I'll kind of drop it off.
Pitch
And
it,
to that, it just sounds like a branch or something dropping,
right?
and then they'll scatter enough, and then you might have to do it like once or twice, and then they're like, all right, screw it, and then they walk away. But I've
Yeah,
done that many times, especially on like public land and stuff. I can't get down. I'll just drop my hat or something, but that's an idea too.
hmm yeah. I mean. I mean, it is a problem. The law is a problem, but usually it's man-made.
Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's 50-50. It's 50% of it
Sometimes
is man-made and 50% is just
the shifting and
the food changing and
yeah,
things.
but sometimes it could be weather related. I mean,
Mhm.
it could be monsoon or drought. And if it's drought time and your plots are crappy, they're going to go elsewhere and find something more lush. If it's monsoon time, they're probably not going to come out and pouring rain as much. You know, and how many people hunt the pouring rain anyhow? So they're not going to be out there to even know if there's deer. I
Mhm.
mean, I don't know. There's so there's so much to it, but I think it was a fabricated thing. It's kind of
Well,
it's kind of like this. It's kind of like a fabrication thing, just like a dough factory, or you hit them in the dead zone. You shot the deer in the dead zone. Come on, it's been proven. There is no dead zone. You either hit it or you don't.
right.
And if you didn't, it was a bad shot. Period.
Yeah.
Or they ducked and you hit them in the backstrap or something. You know,
Yeah, those lungs go
they
all the
claim
way
the
up.
lungs go all the way to the spine, so there is no dead zone. You know, I don't know.
Um
And I know people are going to argue that, but oh well,
um I know there's an argument that the October law, when you get warm days in October, the activity shuts down
because of the heat.
because of the heat and they have their the deer have their winter coat on. I guess you could that is
I
something to
guess that's
think
a
about.
viable argument to a
Right.
point,
But it's so
but yet not.
yeah, I mean, I've seen deer in October when it's 75, 80 degrees
Um,
out.
Down south, they're shooting deer in 95 degrees.
Right.
New Mexico, Florida. I mean, people shoot deer in hot climates. Carolinas, Georgia, and Louisiana got to be horrible to hunt in, I would
Mhm.
imagine.
Again, like I always say this too, some areas you know, that like you could take two properties and do habitat improvement on this property, habitat improvement on this property. One of them, there's a chance that deer just don't want to be there because they want to be in a specific place, whether this property has different terrain features than this property has, and they prefer this one better than that one. Well, that's the same with the October, where the deer shift to. You know, you could have a property where the deer want to be in October. I could
Yeah,
have a property where the deer just don't want to be there in October. They want to be
right.
somewhere else. So this shifting
Yeah,
process in September and October, who it's who has the property that the deer want to be on.
right.
There's going to be you could take 10 people and four out of the 10 people are going to have a property where whatever, I don't know the percentage, but 4 out of the 10 people are going to have a property where the bucks or whatever want to be on. And those
Mhm.
other people, whether it's too much pressure on those, the six properties, there's too much pressure there. Terrain features are not right where the deer want to be. There's not enough food, whatever it is, the deer don't want to be there. They want to be on these other four properties. So then the six people are saying it's an October law. No, it's just, I don't know. It's a tricky situation.
I would
It's
imagine. I would imagine the October Law guys, they're claiming that is probably public hunters, because they would say that the private hunters have their own domain place and nobody disrupts them. And I don't know. Like I said, I still think it's fabricated.
well, I mean,
There's a lot of big bucks that drop all
oh
October
yeah,
long.
definitely. I
All
mean,
October long.
obviously, any month of the hunting season that you go through, when you get a cold front, more deer are going to get killed. So the weather, everything has an effect on deer movement. The weather, the cold, rain, moisture, time of the year. I mean, all these things have an effect on deer. But the fact is, whether it's September, October, November, December, January, February, deer still have to feed whatever it is, three, four, 5 times a day. They still got to pack on food.
Yeah.
So
They're
they're just not going to lay. 24 hours a day
They're
and not
daylighting somewhere. That's one
right.
of my favorite
Yeah,
phrases. They're
they're
daylighting
somewhere.
somewhere. You just have to
Right.
figure out where they're at.
Right. And it may not be on your property.
It may not be standing in your
You
food
know.
plot at 5
Right.
PM when you're in a ladder stand
Right.
15 yards from them.
If you're only hunting 20 acres, those deer are going to roam off of 20 acres. So,
For sure.
those 20 acres. So in October, or September, or November, whatever, if the deer aren't on your 20 acres, guess what? You're SOL.
That's right. I was SOL last year, remember?
Yes,
When we were Sika stag hunting
I will kill
and we
you
were
for
laying
bringing that
in
up.
the hotel
I'm going to kill you.
and I'm looking at my phone and I said to Dave, I think this is my target buck just got shot. He's like, how do you know? I said, well, they said it was on the adjoining road to my destination plots. And I said, here's a picture of it. And I scrolled through my gallery on my phone and got some trail camera pictures and we identified it. And I was like, that was him. That was the 11-point target buck I was
You
after.
you just brought back memories that I don't appreciate.
You're
Sick of hunting.
weak.
Sick
He's
of hunting.
weak.
Not
I'm a,
only did not only did you kill my Sika buck,
oh my
okay?
gosh, here we go.
You didn't have any change for the frickin' dryer, and our clothes were soaked. I will kill you for that.
Yeah, I'll kill you. You're the one that took me there and dropped us off in the rain. Dum dum.
Yeah, we got
We got
soaked in the
soaked.
rain. We go back to the hotel, and the frickin' lady at the counter didn't have any
Didn't have
change,
change.
and the dryer only took quarters. Why wouldn't it take a dollar bill? There's
That's
no
dumb.
only change.
So I'm in a pair of boxer shorts because we was already up to the room, and he's like, "We don't have enough change. We got to go to the store." So I'm in my boxer shorts. I grab my wallet. We go down to a local gas station. I go in, and all I had, the smallest bill I had was like $10. So I got $10 and quarters off of the guy. We go back, we load everything in the dryer, load it up with quarters, run the thing. We got to go upstairs to our room. We're halfway up the steps, and I said to Dave, "Oh my gosh." He goes, "What?" I said, "When we were skinning that stag out, we found the bullet, and I stuck it in my pocket." It was banging around the dryer with our clothes. And I said, "Those sharp shreds of what would you call it? Flowered petals on the bullet, the brass was all folded back." I said, "That's going to shred our clothes. We're going to have so many holes." I said, "Let's get back down there. I got to get this bullet out of my pocket." And we got down there, and it did. It flew out into the bin and was banging
Mhm.
around on our clothes. And luckily, we
Yeah,
got it soon enough. It
and
didn't cause any problems.
somebody said, "Oh, let's just put the dryer heat setting to low." So we put that thing on for an hour. We come back down in an hour, the clothes are still freaking wet. So then we had to put it in for another hour, and by the time we went to bed, I could have slapped you.
Dave is a bitter person.
I was angry that day.
He has no sense of humor.
I was angry. But
Weakness.
funny story.
Yeah.
But
So when's the October law start for you?
in 4 days,
Okay.
4 days. Guess what? Guess
Ah,
what? Guess where I'm going in 2.5 weeks?
you're going back to stag hunt.
I'm going back to stag country to redeem myself.
He's gonna shoot a spike.
No, I'm going to shoot a 6-point stag.
Do it.
I'm already it's already programmed for it to happen. It's programmed. I'm gonna go there.
I'm not going back till I get electric bike.
I know. Um, we should announce something here.
I don't
Um,
know if we should.
well, it's we're not gonna say what it is, but
Okay.
we got something in the works.
Yeah, we're trying.
We're working on something, and it might take a few months to get an official answer.
Yeah.
But let's just say I'm in talks with a company, and something might be happening here. Um, we're working on it, but could be interesting.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
with that said,
For
let's
sure.
wrap up podcast 92 October Law. And
Okay.
why don't people comment on this and let us know if you think that the October Law, just give us your opinion on the October Law. What are your thoughts on it? Opinions, concerns, and so forth. How
Hmm.
about that? How about them apples?
See if they use the moon guide too.
Ah, stupid moon god.
You
I don't
are
believe it.
bitter.
I don't believe in any of that crap.
Whoa, where'd my what just happened there? Can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my volume just went down to 0, and I didn't touch a thing.
Oh,
That was
all
weird.
right.
All
I'm
right,
signing off. Later, peeps.
yeah, later, peeps. See you guys on 93.
I should say
Happy
later, Gator.
happy hunting.
Later, Gator.
Send us pictures when you kill something.
You're old. One
I'm,
lung.
get, I'm getting better.
You have 1.5 lungs.
I got 1.93 lungs.
Okay. Later.